Hi everyone, I'm Nerd Bomber.
And I'm Tactic, and we're two of the hosts of the Online Warriors podcast.
Our podcast started as a way for three best friends to keep in touch and discuss their nerdy hobbies like movies, gaming, tech, and more.
Since then, we've grown into a great community. Every Wednesday, we chat about the latest nerdy news before getting hands-on with our weekly nerdy adventures.
And don't forget our high-stakes trivia game. Come join the fun at onlinewarriorspodcast.com and every major podcast platform.
And now, back to Collateral Cinema.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from the Director's Cut. Tonight, on a special holiday edition, we're talking about Adult Swim holiday specials. So stick around, everybody. The holiday fun starts right now. Welcome to Collateral Cinema Director's Cut. I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And we are podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas. And yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it, especially if you've got those Christmas buds, right?
Hell yes.
Hell yeah, we got some Christmas buds here as well, those nice little Christmas trees and everything. And we are diving into one of the better stoner accompaniments that you can, do while smoking, which is, of course,
right.
Watching some Adult Swim.
Fuck yes.
Now, we have previously done a special on Adult Swim. We did a 20-year retrospective.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as promised, we said that we were going to do more Adult Swim-related content. So what better way than to talk about their holiday episodes? And the holidays and Christmas time in particular, it's an interesting time on Adult Swim. They've pretty much done holiday specials like pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, since the very early Adult Swim shows and episodes for sure, yeah.
Hell, in the first season of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, even.
Yeah, we watched 4 Aqua Teen Hunger Force Christmas specials before doing this podcast.
And I think they might have more, but we're going to save that for next year. Well, I mean, we got to talk about the rest of them.
Sure,
but
yeah.
We're going to talk about at least the first 4. And also, I mean, they used to do all kinds of different themes during the holidays and everything. Like, I remember one time they actually had MF Doom, the master himself. You know when you use all caps, when you spell the man's name, you use all caps.
Okay.
That's what you do. And that was recently found, actually. I think it was lost for a few years, but they found that recently. They done one called Christmas in December, which they pretty much just had infomercial type or like Home Shopping Network type interludes where they would sell a lot of their merchandise and their DVDs and everything, And, the holiday bumpers are also very interesting around that time. Like they have like really nice, almost like liminal snowscapes and whatnot with good ambient music and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It was all kinds of fun, man. And it brings back a lot of memories around Christmas time, and especially on Christmas Eve, I mean, I was accustomed to staying up late and watching Adult Swim anyways, so... And they would have a lineup of all their holiday episodes up to that point.
Nice.
So in that spirit, we're going to talk about at least a few of the more classic Christmas and holiday episodes that was aired on Adult Swim. Now, we're not going to get into the syndicated episodes all that much. We're going to save that for its own episode next season. So... yeah, look for that next year. This is going to be like a recurring series pretty much every Christmas. So I guess we'll go ahead and just get into it. I mean, we didn't do like a ranked list here or anything. We decided to talk about at least 6 shows that had some of them multiple episodes. At least Aqua Teen Hunger Force has multiple Christmas episodes. We decided not to do Robot Chicken because that would pretty much take that would be a holiday episode on its own. I mean, they've done a lot of those. Like, it's practically a yearly tradition now. So
yeah, for sure, I could see that.
So yeah, we're going to save Robot Chicken, and I guess without further ado, let's get into the first 4 Aqua Teen Hunger Force Christmas episodes. Now, the first one, of course, is one of the all-time classic Adult Swim episodes, period. It pretty much like set the standard for what holiday episodes would be on the platform moving on. And of course, in that one, we are introduced to the cybernetic ghosts of Christmas Past from the future, which is one of the most hilarious characters that has ever been committed to television.
Oh man, the robot is great.
He is. He's like this weird kind of histrionic, like just making up bullshit.
You just start finding all these little inconsistencies in his stories.
Yeah, as he goes along, he becomes more and more and more inconsistent. And you're just like, where is he going with all of this?
Right. Like, what is his aim here? What does he get out of this?
But it's just this long, convoluted story, and it's all to tell Carl that he's on an elf graveyard, and he's going to have to deal with elf blood in his water lines and in his pool and everything.
I like how this is the first Christmas episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and they just completely go off the rails with it. I think early on they acknowledge it's not even Christmas.
No, it's February canonically in this show, in this particular episode. It's actually February, and this cybernetic ghost of Christmas Past from the future, even his role in the world is kind of wonky. It's like Christmas Past from the future, like, and the story that he tells about how Christmas was once these very primitive, like, ape creatures with crinkly hands, and and Santa Ape was like the alpha and like just terrorized them every Christmas.
You're right.
And then elves come from space elves, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like Scientology.
In that way. Very much so, like Scientology. Yeah.
See it? Yeah.
But I don't know, man. What's great is that he became a recurring character, and there's even a Thanksgiving episode that they did where they reprised the character, but he was a turkey. And they actually kind of linked that episode to the cybernetic ghost of Christmas Past from the future episode here. But I mean, this one just gives me, it's just so classic. It gives me like warm, fuzzy feelings when I watch it. It's
comforting. I've watched this episode many times, and yeah, I get it.
It's just a Christmas staple. It's a staple on, like, in the normal rotation on Adult Swim. It's a staple, but especially around the holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a must watch. And so is Mail Order Bride.
Mail Order Bride.
Now, this episode is just kind of skeevy in a way because, I mean, it's also the first one to actually take place in Christmas properly. But here, Carl and Master Shake, they decide to buy themselves a mail order Chechen bride. And
Carl, don't refer to her as a babe, please. She is a Chechenian prostitute, and you will address her as such.
Absolutely. This has some of the more classic lines in the show. And the girl that they get is obviously a Slavic lady. It's like she just speaks to Chechen the entire time.
Yep.
Like and she holds herself up in Carl's house, and they can't get her out of there.
Yep. No, she's just fucking takes up the house and kicks Carl out, locks him out. Like,
It's because, well, rightly so. She's fucking mortified by what she sees. Like, she even drops her luggage. She's
I
like,
mean, what the fuck would you think when you saw that you were going to be co-married to or married to co-husbands,
and one's
fat,
a
bald, and ugly, and
a fucking cup.
in a cup, a literal like anthropomorphic shake.
That is like horrifying, honestly. I would be fucking horrified by that. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in Aqua Teen that's mortifying, but this especially, you know? But, I mean, they go through with the marriage, and she just bails out on them.
Yup.
But there's some little touches in that episode that I like. Like, if you notice the on the wall in the Aqua Teen's house, they have it's a reindeer head that's Rudolph, and it goes ho ho ho.
Yeah.
And if you watch it closely, it eventually gets burned and it's irreparable, and then it just starts go ho 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 over and over and over again. Like, that's kind of what was always cool about Aqua Teen, is that, there's all kinds of stuff that's going on in the background.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of interesting little details, especially in the later episodes. But here, this is also part of season 2, which I think is among the best seasons of Aqua Teen, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of it is part of the second volume DVD, I believe. Which is where I first saw this episode, actually. But, I mean, you gotta love near the end, just that final insult to injury to Carl is like, Meatwad just gives him a stick. And he's just like, oh, good. And then the episode just ends.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's another true classic. I mean, you gotta really appreciate how they went with such an absurd situation and just ran with it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and I think it kind of epitomizes the series in a lot of ways.
Yeah, as does T-Shirt of the Living Dead, which is another Christmas episode of theirs that doesn't actually take place. That doesn't actually take place on Christmas. It's actually in the middle of July at this point, and it starts off in an Egyptian exhibit at a museum, and they see the T-Shirt of the Dead, and Shake steals it. And then Meatwad shrinks it in the fucking laundry. So he's the one who ends up getting to wear the T-Shirt of the Damned, and chaos ensues, needless to say. He summons Easter bunnies. He summons Santa. And then the giant Easter egg Godzilla monsters.
Right.
He makes fucking Easter egg kaiju that fucking just smashes Carl's house. It's the best thing ever. And the Easter bunnies are hilarious. It's like, I'm the Easter bunny. It's just so fucking great. But Santa gets fucked, though. It's actually really sad how bad Santa gets fucked.
Santa gets fucked in more than one of these episodes we're going to be talking about today.
He does, seriously. And yeah, he gets completely burnt to a crisp by the Eggzilla and everything. And he's a crispy skeletal figure in the end. And the elves have to like give him a skin graft of soccer ball leather, which is just like, that's so humiliating.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, I mean, poor Santa, and he wasn't even supposed to be like anywhere but the North Pole. It was the middle of fucking July.
Yeah, that tracks, right?
Yeah, but of course, Meatwad, that T-shirt just goes straight to his head, and he goes mad with power.
Yeah, I like how the whole episode kind of revolves around this fucking T-shirt.
Yeah, it's like a T-shirt owned by a pharaoh or something like that, or some Egyptian god or whatever. And of course, this being the world of Aqua Teen, it does bestow those types of powers on somebody. So, like, and Meatwad is known to be easily corruptible. That's a central part of his character.
Yeah.
You can absolutely corrupt Meatwad into doing anything. I mean, the Moonanites do it several times to him.
Right,
Like almost every
exactly.
time that they encounter him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, we're watching the episode with the condom monster. Like he pretty much like forces him to murder and
Jesus
rob
Christ.
and mutilate. It's like it was a condom monster, you know? But Meatwad is so easy to move towards that type of behavior. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of scary. It's what's actually really frightening about him.
Yeah, I think that's a consistent element of Meatwad's character for sure. Yeah, is that like I'm trying to think. There's another episode that he was corrupted. Well, there's several.
There's a few. Most of the
I'm thinking
Moonanite episodes.
I think
he's
I'm mainly
corrupted.
thinking of the Moonanite ones. Yeah.
Hell, the very first one they get him to shoplift and then ditch him, and he gets arrested. So, so yeah, he's very easy to and very credulous, you
Right.
know, about everything. But yeah, I mean, he eventually, being that he has the T-shirt of the dead, he has to be the one to pick up Santa's role and everything, and gives Jimmy a wooden brain. It's like, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
But next up is what I think is actually probably the more well fleshed out Christmas episode that Aqua Teen did, and that's a PE Christmas. It's like, and that's when Master Shake, he steals the identity of Flavor Flav and Chuck D or Terminator X from Public Enemy, and they decide to make a Christmas rap album. And
Yeah.
oh my God! First of all, Dana Snyder's performance as Master Shake is always good, but his rapping here is just the best. It's the funniest part.
Honestly, it's actually kind of good.
it really is good. You know, it actually even fits the beat that he's recording to, kind of
Yeah.
like, which is surprising. You know?
Hey, Bo, Wicked City.
Oh, Wicked City. Oh shit! Yeah, Wicked City, the
1992.
pinball machine. Oh no. Yeah, we got the pinball episode of Aqua Teen on now.
Yeah, actually, right before recording this, the last thing we watched was PE Christmas. So we've got the rest of the episodes after that. From that point on,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of
they're-
playing in the background.
Yeah, they're running now, you know, just as we do.
But
Yeah.
yeah, a PE Christmas was actually the last thing we watched right before we recorded this. So
Exactly. Yeah, we watched that, and it has Chuck D in it. Actually, Chuck D makes an appearance near the end, and he has space eels that apparently, there's space eels in this fucking.
that come out of Master Shake's ass.
Oh yeah, he's like shitting out eels.
Don't let them come near Uranus.
Oh no! It's like apparently Chuck D likes to have space eels as a pet. Apparently, they make great pets or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
apparently.
Don't ask me how. It's like and he has to keep him out in like a giant cargo thing, and it's just like, what the fuck.
Right.
But I mean, Aqua Teen is known for doing that, for being weird like that. It's always known for weird, absurdist humor.
Yeah, very
So-
non sequitur.
Yeah, so it tracks.
Right.
But I mean, it's hilarious, you know, when he actually goes and he has to shit out the fucking eels at first, because he does that right over
Meatwad's
singing an admittedly beautiful version of Silent Night.
Yeah,
Very-
it's actually pretty good. And
very
and then you
heartfelt.
just hear Shake's fucking violent diarrhea.
Yeah,
of
he's
space eels.
just bombing out the fucking restroom. It's just amazing. And then he leaves a big old pile of them for everybody for Christmas. It's gross, you know. Not the grossest thing he's done on the show, but still.
Yeah, definitely not. But
But yeah, Aqua Teen Hunger Force has always had really consistently good Christmas specials, you know. And I
Yeah.
think there might be another couple that they did, because I mean, Aqua Teen Hunger Force has quite a few seasons. It had almost like 7 or 8 seasons or something like that.
Yeah, it went on for a while, and you can always count on the on an Aqua Teen Christmas episode to be exactly what you'd expect from an Aqua Teen Hunger Force Christmas episode, but at the same time, just like in doing so by being unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like for instance, the whole stories that Cybernetic Ghost comes up with,
right?
But
that really set the precedent, I think.
It did. And like I said, it set the standard for all other Adult Swim Christmas specials. Like
sometimes they're not even on Christmas.
Yeah. Like, for instance, the next series we're getting into is the original Christmas episode from Squidbillies, Rebel Without a Clause. And this is where Early and Rusty, the Kylers, they decide to trick Santa into landing in Dougal County, and they take him hostage, and their ransom is quite appalling, but, very on point for Early if you're aware of his character. He's voiced, of course, by Unknown Henson.
Okay, so I haven't watched very much Squidbillies. I may have watched a couple episodes with you in the past.
Yeah,
the character seemed familiar, but I was kind of going into this fresh, and I got a sense for I guess the characters, and it's just this one. This is the other one that I was thinking of when I mentioned that Santa gets fucked up. I mean, he gets fucked up.
Oh man, they torture him, man. They use a rusty fish scaler to rip his beard off. I mean, they beat the shit out of him. They wallop. They pretty much pull a misery on his fucking leg and everything with a baseball bat. And of course they slaughter his entire 8 cadre of reindeer and everything.
Yep. How did you feel about that, Bo?
Oh, it was so sad, and also disgusting. Like when the sheriff shows up, he just starts eating the damn thing because apparently they smoked him.
It's so is he always so oblivious? Is that like his character?
That's totally his character.
That's fucking awesome.
He's completely oblivious and also kind of friends with Early in a way.
Right. All cops are bastards.
All cops are bastards, but especially the sheriff. And that's his name. He's just sheriff.
That's it?
That's all it is in the show.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but yeah, he is that oblivious, and here he is just classic sheriff. I mean, all of the evidence is there right in front of him. Like, he should be able to put all of this together, but he just goes on his merry way when he's distracted by some smoked meat.
And then he comes to him at the last second, and he just keeps eating.
Yeah, after running Santa over.
So, after all of that, it's, not even clear if Santa is alive. I mean, he got hit by a car after all that shit.
Yeah, it's not even clear what happened to Santa after that. But what ensues is the elves attempt to rescue Santa. They attempt to do their own clandestine action, and they send in the Silver Knights, I believe they are. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he has a special force of elves who come to save him. I guess that this sort of thing has happened enough that they need an elite squad of warriors, elves or something,
Right.
Yeah. And they get fucked in their own right. Like, there's a scene where they try to lull Early and Rusty out by singing a Christmas carol with a nativity scene and everything.
Right. And then
they get ripped apart by a bunch of pit bulls. It's immaculate, nice and gory, but it totally tracks for that was very typical of Adult Swim at that time.
Right.
Lots of really bloody, gory, violent humor.
Yeah, no, it was fucking awesome. Yeah, no, like I said, I haven't had much exposure to Squidbillies, but just that Christmas special really kind of gave me a feel for it. I definitely want to check more of it out. I think that goes for everything that we watched this episode.
I actually introduced you to quite a few shows here, actually, right? Yeah, stuff that we haven't really gotten into. Like this show, I mean, Squidbillies is an all-time classic. I'm a seasoned Squidbillies veteran. I've watched that show ever since it first came out. So, I mean, that to me is like their quintessential it's absolutely their quintessential episode, I think. Like, it just encapsulates everything that Squidbillies is. And yeah, I mean, like you said, you pretty much got the gist of what the show is about, like, pretty easily from this.
Yeah, I think you can. It's kind of like Aqua Teen in that way, actually, because Aqua Teen, it's like you can watch any episode and get a feeling for what it's like.
Exactly.
Any of the Christmas episodes we mentioned are like, indicative of it, and I felt like Squidbillies was like that. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched any of a whole lot else, but it's like it's absurd enough, but also like the characters are written in such a way that it's very easy to kind of get a grasp for it.
And see, you haven't even been introduced to like most all of the characters. There's a ton of other characters that are recurring that also have some interesting traits to them and everything and whatnot. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Squidbillies, Rebel Without a Clause. I mean, that's just a episode that is very near and dear to me.
I think it was Rebel with a Clause.
Rebel with...
Yeah.
Rebel... No, it's Rebel Without a Clause, I think.
Well, that's what you have written down, but when you looked it up on HBO Max...
I don't know. It's Rebel with a Clause or something. I don't know. But next up is another... it's a show that I am so sad that... Cartoon Network kind of let fall by the wayside, because at one point this was pretty much the Rick and Morty of its era.
Yeah,
it had that level of hype to it, just maybe with a less cringy fan base, and it's very much a love letter to old school Hanna-Barbera action superhero cartoons, and that's the Venture Brothers, and their episode is a very Venture Christmas, and it's actually one of their most nonsensical episodes, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got an Inception plot going on.
Oh, definitely. Like, yeah. Yeah. First, you get a dream sequence with a lot of weird Christmas tropes to it.
Yeah. So this is another one that I haven't seen, but it regularly pops up in my feed. Like when we're watching Adult Swim or if I'm watching anything Adult Swim, it's like Venture Brothers always seems to kind of pop its way, and I've always made a mental note of it.
Don't fucking sleep on Venture Brothers, man.
I liked it. Yeah. Like I said, I can see what you mean by like Rick and Morty,
Yeah, it kind of has that really referential, I should say. It has that really referential kind of humor that Rick and Morty excels at, I mean, Doc Hammer and Jackson Public, I mean, they really just kind of put all of their influences together and just made a love letter to comics, to superheroes, to like any type of spy media, whatever and whatnot.
Yeah, I can see that.
And mad scientists and everything.
Right. Like Kim Possible or something.
Yeah, kind of sort of like Kim Possible.
Like an adult Kim Possible. I don't know. I actually really enjoyed it. I really want to check out more of that one. And Patrick Warburton, I didn't know that he was in this. I recognize his voice instantly. I mean, that's fucking Kronk.
Brock fucking Sampson is one of his classic fucking characters, dude. Yeah. Like along with Joe Swanson and Kronk. Like it's like essential fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and he plays their bodyguard. He's like the big time murder machine, At what point he's called a Swedish murder machine. But anyway, in this episode, they have a Christmas party. And if you look in the background, there's a lot of characters that up to that point have appeared in the show. There's a Mandalay is there. Billy Quizboy is like and Mr. White, they're all there and everything. Like Triana and Morpheus. Like, Ash, what do you think of Dr. Orpheus? Who is like, he's an obvious Doctor Strange XP.
Oh, yeah, no, I noticed that right away, actually, during that first or second dream sequence. I was like, this guy looks kind of like Doctor Strange. Like, I just kind of, that's immediately what I associated him with. So it's funny that you bring that up, because that was actually the inference that my mind made.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about him is that he's kind of a more cucked version of Doctor Strange. You know, he's
Doctor Strange is a cuck though.
Oh, he is. Yeah, that tracks, I guess. But he's also
Multiverse of Madness, anyway, right?
But he's also a total. He's a dad. You know, his daughter is Triana Orpheus, the goth girl.
Yeah.
He's got a big titty goth daughter. What do you think of that, Ash?
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. But by the way, Dean Venture totally has a crush on.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's a plot point in the series. And after a little while, as the Christmas party goes on, Hank and Dean, I guess they're trying to listen to some kind of weird Christmas story time thing that's obviously like 1-900 number. So it's like, wow, it's like, I mean, if you're like my age, you probably remember those types of numbers. You know, like you'd call them up and you'd hear this. Like you would hear like a story, or you would call up and talk to a character or something, and it would be exorbitant. You know, it would cost exorbitant amounts.
Jesus.
You know?
Capitalism,
exactly. And they get bored and they read out of Dr. Orpheus's spell book, and they summon the Krampus.
The Krampus.
It's like now. Krampus is kind of taking off as a pop culture icon around Christmas, but back in this day, not so much. I mean, people were really starting to kind of...
Well, this was like 2004, right?
Yeah, but that was around the time where people were really starting to kind of talk about Krampus in popular culture a little more often.
Okay.
You know? Like you were starting to see them in a lot of Christmas specials like this. I mean, even eventually American Dad did a Christmas special with Krampus. So... that's kind of how far, you know, making him a mainstay of Christmas pop culture has come.
Yeah, and that's fucking awesome. Reject tradition, embrace modernity.
Embrace modernity, exactly.
Reject Santa Claus, embrace the Krampus.
Embrace the fucking Krampus. To the point that now I'm starting to see like sexy lady Krampus pinups.
Oh,
like,
no.
Yeah, not it's they're like done in the classic pinup style, you know, like those devil girls. I don't know if you've seen those before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're starting to see Krampus like that, and of course you have the Krampus horror movie, which is pretty much like another Christmas movie that we're gonna have to get into on the podcast.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, back then, I mean, Krampus was really kind of just barely poking the pop culture bubble. When it comes to Christmas.
I like how they're like, you know, Santa Claus has been dead since 19...
Yeah, that's something that's cool about Dr. Orpheus is that he exists in a world that, much like Doctor Strange, that exists, you know, according to its own rules and has its own clandestine things that have happened that they try to keep out of the public eye.
Yeah, and so like Santa Claus and Krampus actually have existed.
Yeah, and apparently... Santa Claus was killed by a fighter jet in 1963, which is believable. That's height of the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, that's 100% believable that would happen. But then, like, having the Pope actually cast the Krampus away during the Vatican II, it's like, what the fuck?
And they released it from its imprisonment, right?
Yeah, all because they wanted to hear a Christmas story. Well, you got a hell of a Christmas story right there.
Yeah.
And of course, he whips the shit out of Dr. Venture because Dr. Venture is an ass.
Right, of course.
Yeah. But it turns out that is a dream as well.
Yeah, so that's all a dream.
Yeah, it turns out that it was Dr. Venture. He was dreaming once again, and he wakes up. The X1 is crashed, and it turns out they just totally crashed into the Church of the Nativity in Israel/Palestine. It's like... And Brock is just like, it's like, hey, if the Israelis show up, I know some people in the Mossad, so I might be able to sweet talk our way out of this. But if the PLO shows up, it's like, yeah, my Arabic is a little shaky. So, yeah, that's how that episode ends. Now, Ashley, just in general, what did you think of the Venture Brothers? And was this a good intro to them?
Oh, yeah, no, it was great. I feel like I'm missing a lot of context, so I don't know if it's actually a good intro, but it definitely made me interested in the show and maybe want to check it out. I mean, it's one of the ones that kind of stood out that I was like, I really want to check this out.
You absolutely need to check it out all the way from the first episode. Like, seriously, it's good stuff.
Right.
And it's essential viewing if you're getting into Adult Swim's work.
Patrick Warburton was a warm welcome that I wasn't expecting, and I don't know, the characters of like Dr. Venture, Dr. Orpheus, the arch nemesis,
the Monarch, and and Dr. Girlfriend, and they are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
they are just as much like
he has a girlfriend. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, he has a girlfriend, and she has a gravelly voice.
Yeah,
she's all gravel voiced and
but
everything.
She's hot, dude.
Yeah, she's a total catch.
Like she fucks him.
Oh yeah. She totally
fuck?
does. They fuck. They fuck.
They do the sex?
They do the kinky sex. They do that kind of sex. Like they're total kinks.
God damn it.
Exactly.
I need some sex for Christmas.
Oh God. But yeah, next up is what I think is one of the most important Christmas episodes that Adult Swim ever made, and that's the Moral Oral Best Christmas Ever. Now, this was actually the very first episode of Moral Oral that was ever like broadcast.
Okay, yeah, I really liked this one. This series is one like I feel like I need to check out, but I kind of need to like start from the beginning.
You absolutely need to start from the beginning and go all the way to the end, because the third season is one of the greatest mind fucks that you'll ever fucking witness. Like,
yeah,
I had a running joke that Moral Oral is literally the only show to out Evangelion and just mind fuckery.
The critique on religious fundamentalism was so brilliant. It's just like just how it's just like subtly like written into the dialogue.
Well, it's a parody of a show called Davy and Goliath from back in the day, which was very similar. And he had a dog companion that was named Goliath, and it was a Christian show. So
I see. And then it just ends on such a bleak fucking note with nothing resolved.
No, nothing gets resolved. There's no answer. Like what happens is first we're led to believe that it's just a nice Christmas Eve. They're going to, the Puppingtons are going to church. Which is a central focus of the, if you notice in the series, it's like the center of town is the church. Mm-hmm. But they go to church, and it seems like it's going to be like a pretty happy, fun Christmas. It's like they go watch a pretty standard Christmas sermon from Reverend Putty, who, by the way, turns out to be a great character, who even gets a little bit of a redemption arc later in the series.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He kind of his character arcs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like, yeah. It was funny. Like, just the way that he was delivering this shit. Like, and then the whole bit like about like the second coming or whatever. And
yeah.
I'm like, is that even like? Do they even talk about that in churches?
No. From what I've seen of church nowadays, they're just all in for MAGA and Trump. So.
Oh well, yeah. That
tracks, right?
That tracks.
But yeah, I mean, you think that it's going to be kind of a nice, sweet Christmas episode, and like all the way up to when the boys go to bed, and then when you go into the parents' room, Blaberta and Clay Puppington, it just turns into a completely different monster.
Yeah.
Like, it just turns into this searing relationship drama where these two emotionally damaged people are like, they're sifting through the remains of their marriage. And then it ends with Blaberta wanting a divorce because apparently their kid Shapey is a product of an affair. And that's something that comes up in the series properly quite a few times.
Jesus. Yeah, that was interesting to me. And it fucking ends on that note too. It's like she had an affair. The kids don't get any fucking presents for Christmas.
No
Dad
presents.
is gone. And then, she fucking leaves Oral just
alone.
Yeah.
Just tells him off, like straight up. Just like, oh, well, you want to go be with your precious father? I suggest you go find him. It's like, yeah, shit that you should not tell a fucking kid during a situation like that.
On Christmas.
That's fucked.
Man, yeah, no, that was fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Like, like I said, the kids have no gifts or anything, and they don't even get to be with their family either.
And then Oral, when he finds his dad's drowning his sorrows at the pub with Coach Danielle, who becomes integral to the plot of the show.
I can imagine.
That whole little relationship, that little ass pat right there.
He didn't stop him.
There's ramifications there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nothing's resolved. The parents are apparently going to be divorced. The Oral still has yet to receive him. I think he even ends with a note of like, hey, there's 2 minutes left of a great, for me to have the greatest Christmas ever. And
it says, do your thing, God, pretty much, and it looks up to the sky. The camera pans away. Nothing happens. No answer comes. Just nothing.
That's not resolved. And is his dad gay?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was actually really interesting for me, especially like watching this as like a first episode of this series.
See, that's the thing. Anybody who got into Moral Oral, like I said before, this was the first episode that was actually broadcast. It was due to a little error.
Really?
And I think it was because, it was because of a scheduling error and Christmas was coming up, so they just released that. People were livid by that. They said, like, this ruined my Christmas. There's people that went that far. And that just showed me how emotionally effective that series was going to be. So for many of us, that was our first time seeing that series.
Jesus.
That was our first time. The first time I ever saw Moral Oral was the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
And I remember when they canceled the series, what they did is they showed the final season pretty much several days in a row during December. It was part of their holiday programming. And it ended with the final episode of the season, which kind of bookended the show on Christmas.
Okay.
I won't say what happens, but yeah, it does get bookended on Christmas. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like I included this because this is an important piece of Adult Swim art. Like, I actually believe that this is one of the few shows that actually became true works of art.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that was cool.
But next up, we got two series left that we're going to get into, and then we're going to wind down. Next up is Tom Goes to the Mayor. That's a show that, when it comes to Tim and Eric, you're either going to love their humor or you're just going to despise it. There's no real in-between with their humor, and Tom Goes to the Mayor is emblematic of that.
Yeah, so I haven't watched this before either, but I have seen Tim and Eric. This does feel very on brand, but I like the format. I like the way that
it's like some type of weird rotoscoping, but it's not in video or something like that. They all have this weird blue and white aesthetic, but I mean, it's actually a pretty deep show in its own right, because if you notice, like Jefferton, the city that they're in, and it's just a wasteland of strip malls and restaurants, and there's only one place where there's any greenage, and it's this one park, and it's just this square grass park in the middle of the goddamn town. And I mean, as you can imagine, Christmas in a place like this is just it's depressing.
Hell, even the city council operates in a restaurant.
in a buffet restaurant.
A buffet,
I might add. Like practically a Golden Corral. Mm-hmm. It makes me wonder if that actually happened, and Tim and Eric actually was aware of that and put that into the show. It makes me think like that has to have happened somewhere down the line.
Yeah,
where some town city council just shows up. They meet in a fucking restaurant. And he just gets screwed every which way by the universe.
It's like a cosmic break.
It is. It's a cosmic sink. That's what it is. It's just a sink of anything that, could be good or could progress Tom's life or anything. It's a theme of the show. It's just complete, existential mediocrity. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's almost like it's kind of like a fate worse than death kind of thing. It's just like you're doomed to this purgatory of mediocrity.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of this Key and Peele sketch where One of them says a joke, and then the other one says it, but louder, and the class hears and laughs, and then it just becomes this like internet, like worldwide sensation.
Yeah.
And it was just like something stupid, like I wish I was high on pot and noose in math class. So this is very similar. It's like rats off to you.
Yeah, rats off to you. Yeah, he's trying to sell these T-shirts because he needs money to get his kids some Christmas presents.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he doesn't want to sell his boat.
Yeah.
That's something that's essential to Tom Goes to the Mayor. He has like a simple thing that he wants to do, and it just gets fucked by the universe.
Oh.
And here it's, make some money to get Christmas presents for his family. And, he has a good idea. He has an excellent catchphrase there, honestly, with a little thing, and it's stolen from him.
Well, it's funny because everybody that talks about it treats it like it's this like brilliant joke, and it's just like a simple pun, but it's cute. I mean, I can see a T-shirt like that selling.
But I mean, you really get that when the mayor just completely loses his shit, just repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
He with that weird laugh, that Eric Wareheim is known to do, like that shit.
Right.
But I mean, it just gets worse and worse for him. But in the end, he still ends up buying all the presents, which, insult to injury is all rats off to your merchandise that was stolen from him by this jester's asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I would like to say it's the closest thing this series gets to kind of a happy ending.
Right.
Because, yeah, he's walking out of the mall. He's had to put all of this rats off to you shit, his idea on his credit card, and he fucking walks out and all defeated, and then he sees a nativity scene. It's like, oh, this is the real reason for the season, and then it turns into a rats off to you fucking extravaganza, and then he laughs, and then it turns out that Eric Wareheim, that the mayor, is the rat, and they just laugh.
Yeah, it actually ends on like a cheery note. I think it's actually funny. It's just like,
even with the teardrop that Tom gives at the end, it's the closest thing to a happy ending that this series ever got.
Oh man, that's depressing.
Yeah. Oh, there's some really existentially nightmarish shit in that series.
Jesus. All right, that piques my interest too.
Finally, we're gonna go looking for someone under the sea, because that's where we'll find them.
That is where they'll find me.
Underneath the Sea Lab. And I'm talking about Feast of Alvis. This is another classic episode in the series, in Adult Swim history, and for Christmas.
Yeah, so I've seen plenty of Sea Lab 2021, but this one, I guess I've missed. It has eluded me. I've not watched this one before. I don't remember
amazing. I could have sworn that we watched it.
Maybe
together.
I was just watching my phone the whole time or something. I don't know. But yeah, no, this was great. Actually, it's kind of another critique on religious culture, I guess, or civilization as a result of religious culture.
Exactly. I mean, and it's pretty much also like, hey, maybe a little bit of a cancel culture thing.
Yeah,
kind of.
I think it's interesting how they just replace all of the religions with different things.
The
point remains.
The point still remains. I mean, what happens is Captain Murphy, he's an Alvian, which is the Christian equivalent of that universe, and he tries to do an Alvis time celebration. He tells this story, which is like, very much it's just the nativity story, just told with a very colonial American Western twist.
Right.
Like with covered wagons, and in his religion is like,
and it
booze,
opens up with that.
Booze and revenge and everything. Yeah, it opens up with him telling that, and then he's trying to put together this huge pompous extravaganza for his holiday, and the crew doesn't really take well to it, needless to say, and they have good points too. They're just like, look, you actually can't do this. I mean, you're pushing your religion on people, Right. It's like your religion is a minority on this in this Sea Lab.
Yeah, it's a really funny situation to put the Sea Lab crew in. Just kind of already being acquainted with these personalities and just seeing like the whole thing just collapse on itself yet again for just.
Yeah, especially for Murphy. It just goes to shit for him. Like, he ends up, like, being summoned to family court, paying a fine to a health inspector. Like, the fucking crew is pissed at him. Like, they starts a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets knocked out, and he sees a vision of Alvis, who changes a bunch of eggnog to liquor, I guess.
That's right. Water to wine. Eggnog to liquor.
Eggnog to liquor, exactly.
Alvis is based. I think Alvis is the superior Jesus.
Yeah, he probably is. He's a base Jesus.
Yeah.
He's all about just guns and liquor and revenge.
He's an American Jesus.
That's American. It's like it's almost like Mormonism a little bit. I mean, come on now. Yeah. But yeah, that is a really, really fun episode, though. And
fuck yeah.
Although it's sad that it's still so topical all these years later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still pretty much have a war on Christmas and everything. You know?
mean, shit. Only last year we were talking about fucking
Last Ounce of Courage.
And this year was Saving Christmas.
Saving Christmas, which is I don't even know if that is a war on Christmas movie. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really, really entertaining critique on, how, people of other religions, coexist with each other. And
right.
Yeah, it's a fun episode.
Yeah, and on that note, whatever you celebrate, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy Festivus, Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. All the holidays.
All the holidays.
Well, Ash, let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. What's going on with Collateral Gaming?
Well, right before recording this, we also recorded our holiday bonus round episode on our top 5 favorite angry video game nerd episodes. That was a lot of fun.
It was.
Tomorrow, as of the day of recording this, we should be doing God of War Ragnarok Part 2, which is going to be our holiday special. And then next month, we are doing It Takes Two, as well as our anniversary special on an arcade game mega review on Fighters.
Nice.
Yeah, and probably Fire Emblem Engage next month as well. So
excellent.
And also, before that, by the end of this month, we should have Zelda: Link Between Worlds Part 2 out. If you haven't checked out Part 1 already with Mr. Dan Rockwood from Victims and Villains, go ahead and do so. As December is our Zelda month, in addition to being, our holiday special.
Exactly. Excellent. And on Collateral Cinema's end, right now we have our Neil Breen episode, I Am Here Now. That is out. Go listen to that. We're doing Bad Movie December. And the next episode for that will be The Love Guru, which, of course, Mariska Hargitay and all that. We got to say Mariska Hargitay to everybody. And we'll probably be doing a Patreon commentary on Black Christmas. We're going to be doing lots of stuff with the Patreon. We're going to be doing some live streaming here pretty soon. So, yeah, become a patron at $1 and $5 tiers, and yeah, you'll get access to all those commentaries and whatnot. So, and also, I mean, I think that's pretty much all we got coming as far as the rest of the year, and then we got Silent Hill and Clueless in January. So,
right.
Yeah, stick around for all of that.
That's going to be a collaboration with Collateral Gaming, and we'll probably have a bonus round focused on Silent Hill as well that month. That's what's planned.
Yep, exactly.
So I'm excited for the new year. It's going to be cool, finishing out season 6 of Collateral Cinema.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's been a fun season so far. I mean, we've hit Halloween and the holidays now, so...
Yeah, so now it's pretty much going to be easy sailing for the rest of the first half of the year.
Yeah, I mean, February is going to be pretty busy for us because
it will be.
We've got a lot of stuff going on that month. That's when we're doing our anniversary specials as well. And then we've got 420 coming up.
Yeah,
in April,
all that good stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm excited, and I'm glad that we're talking about the Adult Swim holiday specials tonight. That's been a lot of fun. I'm excited to do more of those.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can find us on all the podcast apps, Apple Podcast and all that good stuff. Give us a 5-star review on Good Pods and Apple Podcasts so that we can rise up the ranks a little bit. And also, check us out on YouTube. I mean, we're actually getting some views there, so check us out there. And we're on all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Check us out there.
Hell yeah. You can also check out our Facebook group, Collateral Media Podcasts, where you can interact with the community, shitpost yourself if you so desire.
Absolutely. And join us there, and also join us on our Discord.
Yeah, that as well.
But anyway, I guess that with that note, we'll go ahead and end it here. For the Director's Cut, have a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. And I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And we are done here. See you later, everybody.
Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.